Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video, and in this one we are going to be going over our boy Guy, talking about is he a good unit, is he not a good unit. I'm just going to move this camera a little bit so that I'm not looking off to the side like an absolute fool. Is he a good unit, is he not a good unit, where can you use him, that type of stuff. You may have noticed something different about me. I today got glasses. I was told last week that I had to start wearing glasses because I'm getting old and it's hurting my head and stuff to look at the screen and shit. So you're going to see this kind of look from now on. It's quite handy because it obviously improves my vision and that allows me to read the salty fucks that like to post comments in my videos. So I'll now be able to read the salty crybabies posting comments even clearer. So anyway, let's go in and talk about our boy Guy, okay? Now, as always, my content is opinion based. It's just what I think of the unit. Do I think he's good? Do I think he's bad? And you don't have to agree. It's up to you. So let's go ahead. We'll look at him. Problem with Guy, I'm going to say, is I will do something with him so you can see him in action. But to be honest, the kind of content that I'm at just now, I'm not really going to have much of an opportunity to really push him anywhere, right? Because if we go in and look here, Supreme Fist, this is closed, but even when it's open, it's at a super high level, do you know what I mean? So it's quite difficult to really make any progress on that, so it doesn't really matter who you've got. But I mean, I'd still give it a try, but I can't do it just now. So we need to just go in, look at the unit, have a quick overview of what we think he's like, right? So, Guy. I usually start looking at these units' passives, so that's what we'll do here. We'll look at his passive. So if this fighter's super combo is unleashed but does not result in any kills, the fighter will enter the Phantom Ready state. If this fighter is already in that state, then when another fighter uses their super combo, Phantom Ready will be expended and it will become Phantom Double. So what do they do? After activating Phantom Double, this fighter can ignore 15% of enemy defense for 6 seconds. After activating Phantom Double, this fighter gains 15% dodge for 6 seconds. And after activating the Phantom Double, this fighter can ignore 25% of enemy defense and gain 25% dodge for 6 seconds. So if you're wanting to really take advantage of that, you're pretty much going to have to run like an alternating combo. So one combo to put him into the Phantom Ready state, and then on your second combo you're going to be doing it with another unit to put him into his Phantom Double state, right? So you're going to have to do that kind of switching, alternating combos. So just make sure you're building your teams to accommodate that. So as long as you've done that, you're going to get the benefit of using both, right? So let's see what these combos are all about, shall we? Strike the nearest enemy 6 times consecutively, dealing damage that is equal to 636% of attack in total, with a 20% chance of interrupting the target for the first strike. That's decent. I mean, it's not a guaranteed interrupt, but obviously he's got a chance at interrupting, right? If this fighter actually, is that each strike? With a 20% chance of interrupting the target for the first strike, so only 1 out of 6, right? If this fighter has less than 40% HP, this skill's damage will be increased by 40%. Okay, this is one of these units that the lower he goes, the more he does, which I guess, really depending on your point of view, is a good or a bad thing. Increased damage to 699% of attack. If this fighter has less than 50% HP, this skill's damage will be increased by 40%. I will say, it would have been nice to... Come here, cat, get away from my wires. It would have been nice to see... it would be nice to see maybe the interrupt chance being increased on a level up, but I guess you can't have everything, right? His C2. Now his C2 is a little bit like normal guy's C2, but it's slightly better. But, well, I mean, I guess it's slightly better and slightly worse. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kick the nearest enemy 4 times consecutively, dealing damage that is equal to 492% of attack in total, and increase the damage of the next skill in the combo chain by 20% if Phantom Double is active. So he needs to be in the Phantom Double state. So the way that he works is, that's going to be every alternate rotation. If you were using this, like say you used his C2 every combo, only 50% of the time he's going to boost the damage because he's not always going to be in Phantom Double state. He's going to, do you know what I mean? You're going to have to go through it with him in Phantom Ready, then do another super with someone else, activate Phantom Double, so that combo is going to have the increased damage. I mean, it says here it's 15 seconds. I believe that applies to both. So, I mean, technically you could probably, if your combos are quick enough, you could probably do Guy starting the combo, 2 combos with your other unit, Guy start the combo, 2 combos with your other unit, because 15 seconds is probably, depending on your team, enough time to loop round twice, right? Anyway, when Phantom Double is active, the final strike will reduce the target's damage reduction by 15%, which is obviously good as well, for 12 seconds, stacks up to 3 times and cannot be dispelled. After unleashing this skill, Phantom Double will be expended. Stacks up to 3 times, cannot be dispelled. Well, actually, do you know what, then you probably are wanting to do it alternating, because if you, to get the stack in, you could probably do that. You could go through once, then that's you've put yourself into the Phantom Double state, do it again, then you would actually have this buff active for 12 seconds. 12 seconds is enough time for you to go round once to put them back into Phantom ready, and then go again to trigger this skill. You could do that within that time frame, and you would obviously get this stacking up, right? Increases the damage of the next skill unleashed by 30%, so this is where it kind of makes them a little bit more beneficial than standard Guy, and obviously you've got that damage reduction there as well, which makes a big difference. If Phantom Double is active for the final strike, will reduce the target's crit resist by 10% for 12 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Just the way the wording is here, like why would Phantom Double not be active? Like, unleashing this skill, Phantom Double will be expended. So I'll need to check it in a minute. I don't know if you can stack Phantom ready and then stack Phantom Double. I mean, it doesn't make sense that way, but we'll see in a minute, right? C3. Strike the furthest enemy 3 times, then leap into the air and perform a downward kick, dealing damage that is equal to 800% of attack in total. The final blow inflicts armor break. Increased damage to 880%. Each strike has a 25% chance of inflicting 1 armor break. How many times do you hit them? Strike the furthest 3 times, so that would be potentially 3 armor breaks. I mean, that could be pretty decent as well, depending on like what kind of comps that you're running, right? So let's look at his equipment. Now I've put my stones into Bison, so he's at 20. Assist. When he's in the assist position, if the assisted fighter unleashes a super combo, their combo damage will be increased by 10% until the end of battle. Stacks up to 3 times. So you put him on someone who's doing 2 moves. That would be alright. 30% total before the end of battle. Shouldn't be too bad. Plus 10. Upon activating Phantom Double, the attack of all friendly fighters will be increased by 10% until the battle ends. It stacks up to 30%. So that's good, that's each time individually that would happen. So I mean, that's pretty good as well. Enter the Phantom Ready state at the start of battle. Now, this is how I think you can see that it times out. We'll see this on a stage because I'm not expecting to score well with it or anything, but we'll go in and we'll do a stage versus the boss, and you'll be able to see that state becoming available, and then obviously you can see that state falling off. So again, it's probably really about maximising your time with this, and you know what I mean, trying to run through things quickly to build up stacks. Okay, now the boss that's running is probably not the best example. In fact, I don't even think my guild has got anything active that I could use as a demonstration point. But the boss does cleanse buffs, so I've got a funny feeling that would just clear away anyway. But I mean, we can still check. At C3, or plus 30, sorry. Upon activating Phantom Double, Bushin Singe level 3 will be unleashed once. This is considered a trigger skill. So, is that one? Or is that one? Oh, that's that one. Yeah, he'll do C2 again, basically. So he'll do his C2, you'll get one free trigger of his C2, right? Let's check out his cars. After expending Phantom Double, the fighter will gain 100 super combo gauge points. Nice, any kind of gauge generation is always good. After expending Phantom Double, the fighter will enter the Phantom Ready state. Now that is really going to sort everything. With all his cars, you're going to be sorted, because basically you're only really going to have to do it once then. I mean, if you start one combo with Guy, that's it. You're just going to keep going back in to the loop without you having to start the combo again.
So that makes things a lot easier. Means that once you've done it once, you can just run through, and you're never going to really not have the phantom double state, which is ultimately what you're going to want to have with this guy. I mean, kit wise, he does look good. He looks like the type of unit that I would be looking at comps where, right, okay, well, what can I do with him to make my C3 really pop off? But along with that, he is obviously boosting a lot of other things, like your attack. I think, was it his C... What one was it? Boost the attack. Was that his C3? Minute. Where was it? No, it was on his gear, wasn't it? Plus 10. Upon activating Phantom Double, the attack of all friendly fighters will be increased by 10% until the end of battle. So before the end of a few combos, everyone on your team is going to be boosted by 30% attack. So if you are using him as like the C2 unit to give yourself that boost, your whole team's getting the boost off of that plus 30 as well. That plus 30 could probably make quite a big difference. We'll go over and we'll have a look. Again, certain bosses he's going to do better on than others. A boss who quite clearly cleanses buffs, which is what Guile's doing right now, you're not really going to see a lot of benefit from all these different buffs that he's putting out there. But again, because of kind of where I'm sitting within the game at the moment, there's very few actual spots that I could just go in and say, right, okay, here we go, this is kind of what he looks like, right? I mean, maybe Crusade. I'll need to see who the Crusade boss is right now, I've not even looked, but we'll go and we'll look up some footage of him and we'll see how he's getting on, right? You know what, I'm going to do it in Crusade, right? I don't expect this team to like pop off. The only reason I'm actually really doing it on this team, I've took Flame Chun out of this team. Clearly it's not going to score as well as it would have with her, but because the way Don works, he scales off attack, he's boosting attack, he's also with his C2 going to be giving boosts to combo damage and stuff like that. I doubt very much that this is going to pop off, but we should at least stay alive long enough that we can see these kind of different buffs and stuff being applied, right? So this is more of a concept rather than an actual team that I would see myself running, but really I was lazy and I took one unit out. that's the long and short of it. But we'll go and we'll do it just now, right? We'll do this as if we are going to go for some sort of a score. So you can see there he's in that status, okay? Now let's see if that status falls off. I don't think that status does fall off, so that obviously means that when I seen that falling off when I was doing the boss, that must be Guile that was stripping that off of him, so that's good, right? So it means I don't need to do the first combo with him, I can actually do the first combo with Regal Honda here, which is exactly what I'm going to do when the time is right. So we'll run through this first combo with Regal Honda, and then immediately we'll launch into the second combo using Guy. So again, I'm just going to run this as if this is what I wanted to do. So everybody should be getting a bit of a boost there. We should be quick enough that we can get away with another one of them. Now I can't see the statuses above his head right now, so I'm going for 3. But I think 3 might have been a bit of a bust there. But I don't know until I look back at the footage. No, I can see it there, he's got like 3. So you can see there he's got like 3, so at least it got boosted at least 3 times, I believe that was. Maybe it wasn't. I need to check it one more time. Kinda need to try and do it while looking at the screen. It's really difficult to actually try and focus on what icons are coming up above someone's head before you actually, you know what I mean, make your moves, because I don't know what it is with me, even though I know where I'm supposed to hit. See, if I'm not looking at the screen, I miss. I don't know what it is. It's like sometimes I'm doing a fight and I know I've got to hit Virgil EX and I'll tap the screen, but I'll probably be tapping like just to the left or the right, or to the right of it, just like a tiny wee bit, and it won't register. So if I don't look at where I'm hitting, I end up not hitting it, and it just causes me to like actually scuff my runs, right? So we should be good to try this again now. So I'm going to pop it now, right? We've got bang, bang, pop it into you, bit of you, okay, again, bit of you, bit of you. So that status above his head, it should now be different, right? Can't see it if it is or not. It is, I think it is, I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. Oh, pop that. I think I was too slow there, but you know what, we'll keep going. We'll just use his C3 now, see if that makes any kind of impact. Highly doubtful, but we'll keep going. If I was watching my timing for the EX move, maybe it would have survived longer there. Surprisingly enough though, he seemed to take a hit quite well, so he must be dodging quite a lot, because you would think that him only being a double S plus unit, he would likely be the one to die first, but that doesn't seem to be the case, so I'm going to assume that he is actually actively dodging quite a lot, or he would be dead. So, I mean, that's a bit of a positive as well. Once we've got these cars and stuff like that, you'll obviously get some additional dodge, because I believe some of them do increase dodge, but not read them properly to see what stats they had. But keep going here. How did you die? Like, I don't know how Fadon died there. But all I'm really trying to do here is go past the big stomp, right? I wasn't paying attention the first time, so I forgot to pop the EX move. Hopefully this time I don't forget to pop the EX move, and we can kind of see how these buffs actually stack up and if they kind of help him push numbers a little bit on this team. So pop you, pop you, pop you, pop you, go again, pop you, 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 pop you. Whoop! I might have went too early. A nasty habit. Oh, I didn't actually. Right, so we're still going. We're still alive. We're still alive. We're still in the game. Still in the game. Right, so hopefully, if I've caught it, can I catch it? Don't stun me! That's not too bad. I'm about to say it's not too bad. It's not awful. It's definitely not awful. I mean, bearing in mind, we've took Flame Chun. I don't know how we actually survived that there. If we survived that, we're still going. I mean, what I will say is, I'm not like, he's still alive. His dodging ability seems to be really good. I mean, I will say that is definitely, I'm impressed by his survivability. He must be really, really stepping up to dodge. Now, look, I'm under no illusions here that if I had run this with having Chun on this team, the score would have been a lot higher, right? The score would have been a lot higher. But at the same time, if we take him out of this team, right? So if we take him out of this team and I just put someone else in that C2 slot, right? So let's just put a damage dealer in that C2 slot, right? So we can just see how much his buffs contributed to the overall damage, right? So that's all we're looking to see here. How much did his buffs actually contribute to that overall damage? Now, I'm going to say I think they actually contributed fairly significantly. This, as long as I don't screw up the timing, this will kind of allow us to see, did his buffs bring a lot to the table or not, right? I think they did, but this will tell us, right? So go now, into you, popping you, doing the same, trying to keep everything smooth as it was last time, which, that was great. Why did you just decide you were going to be busy there? Go pop you, go pop you. Oh, might have timed that wrong. Probably did, no my luck. I did time it wrong. So, with that awful timing, means we had to go again. But I could see how low the score was there. One thing I'll say is that score there, without him being on the team, was vastly lower than if he was on the team. Which means that those buffs that you're getting from him were contributing a decent amount to the damage output. But I need to go past that point to actually like visually verify that, which is what we're going to do now, hopefully, as long as I don't absolutely balls up the timing. I hate that stomp. I just absolutely hate that stomp. It's like, I always think I've hit it at the right point, and a lot of times I'm not. It's just an absolute pain in the tits, right? So I could have done that at 2 times speed or 4 times speed. It would have been a lot better. Do it now, pop you, do you, do you, pop to you. Please don't be busy again. Why? Oh! They weren't busy that time. Pop you, pop you, pop you. Now go. Right, I definitely hit that in time. Okay, right, cool. Right, so we should at least run to the same point now, right? And we can see, did his buffs contribute a lot to the damage, right? We'll see.
Okay. Nope. I have a feeling they didn't. But let's just see how much enemy, right? It was a new high score, right? So you can see there that there's a clear additional amount. Trendy Ryu obviously contributed a lot more, but you can see that Phaedon was considerably down, right? He was what? Just under 200 million less damage. And again, there's a lot of optimization that needs to go on. That was not an optimal one that we did the first time. Do it one more with Guy, right? So again, just trying to remember the numbers. We look at the one that has put me onto the leaderboard, which is a terrible score, right? It's an awful score. I'm not in any disillusion. You can see there, that was around about 200 million more with the buffs coming from Guy. Let's see if we do it one more time, if those numbers were accurate. Accurate's maybe the wrong word, but consistent I think would be a better word. Consistent, right? But there needs to be consistency in my timing here of popping this stupid EX move, right? So when there's time to do it, I'll do it again, and hopefully if the numbers come out similar, you can see that he is contributing a fairly decent amount. I'm not a statistician by any stretch of the imagination, despite the glasses. I could not tell you how much the actual buffs here are contributing. But I feel like they're contributing a decent amount. And I feel like he needs to start the combo here. Another one from Honda. We're going to die that time, or we lived? Yeah, okay, we lived. Can't see what the score is. I'm hoping it's not terrible. Don't know what the score is. We missed a complete round there because the timing was obviously off. Even higher again. That was definitely higher. I think that's the higher score. You can see there again, Honda's done a wee bit more, but Adon's score is like higher again. So that was with missing a turn. So you can obviously see that, at least from the way that I think I would use this guy, this guy, he does bring a decent amount to the table. And the thing that I like is he's bringing it to the table on a C2 slot. Now again, I don't feel like this is a unit who I would use in a team like this, right? Because this team specifically has a unit that is in the C2 slot, right? You guys know that. It's Flame Chun-Li. That is who goes in that C2 slot, okay? But for a lot of other teams, you might find yourself running a unit who is doing quite a lot for you in the C1, but then you think to yourself, I wish I could get more buffs out of that C2 slot. And I feel like this, excuse the pun, I keep saying it, this guy could be a potential answer to that, because we've got these units like Hayzink who are obviously really helping the damage throughput of these teams. But then sometimes you're maybe just putting a unit into that C2 slot and you think to yourself, I don't feel like I'm getting as much out of this team as I should be. And I just feel like this guy is potentially someone who could fill that void if you feel that oh, am I getting away with that? I did get away with that. So let's see, I feel like this should be the best run. We just got a whole other attack there, right? So guy didn't take the hit that time, right? But that's fine. What was the final score? Higher again. I mean, possibly that was by virtue of surviving a bit longer, but again, you can see that the overall numbers are definitely higher with Guy being in that C2, which you would expect from getting a 30% additional attack and getting a boost to your skill damage and stuff like that. That would apply to other units as well, so units like your V Vegas, stuff like that, you know, if you've maybe got filler teams is what I'm going to call them, where you've got 2 3 key elements, and maybe you're just throwing someone else in there just to complete the combo chain or whatever. I feel like this guy is definitely a solid option for that. He's definitely going to bring something to the Thunder team. The Thunder team obviously needs all the goddamn help it can get, because it's by far and away the weakest team in the game. I don't think anyone could dispute that. And for me, I don't personally see this guy as a DPS, although, I mean, don't get me wrong, his potential numbers are not like terrible or anything like that. If you look, he does have like good percentages. Like if we go and look at his percentages, you can see really quickly, I mean, we're talking what, 636%, 492%, 800%. They're not like insignificant numbers. I mean, this C3, running that a couple of times could definitely stack up, especially if you're landing armor break. Could definitely stack up and give you a decent amount of points, you know, just using this guy as a mainline DPS. But again, because of things like not having soul power and stuff like that, I just feel like if you use him in the C2 slot, prepping your big hitter who's doing your C3, strong possibility that whoever's doing your C3 is a unit that has soul power, it's got higher numbers, hits for more damage. Compound that with getting more damage from his buffs, from his boosting your next attack in the combo chain by implementing damage reduction, all of those things. I just feel like, for me anyway, he's probably more suited to sitting in that C2 slot, right? But you can make up your own minds, just my opinion. I kind of see him as a damaging support. Does that make sense? Whereas you've got pure supports who are the likes of your poisons, etc. This guy, at least in my head canon of how I would run him, I would see him more as a sub-DPS support unit, if that makes sense. Because the skill that I'm going to use to give the rest of the team benefit, it's not insignificant. It hits for a reasonable amount, and at the same time, he is going to be boosting that entire team as well. And again, when you've got them built up and you've got cars, stuff like that, it's just going to become easier to do that. And I just feel like we might see some interesting things with this character. So it gets a thumbs up from me. It's not like feed on crazy unit or anything like that. I don't think we'll ever see that again. But I do think he's not going to be a unit that just disappears into the background, never to be seen again. I definitely think we will see this unit being used in various different ways. But again, for me, I feel like I will be using him to just extract more out of some of the other teams that I think he could help push damage a little bit more on. This boss currently, no, because this boss just takes away buffs, so you're losing what makes him good, right? Anyway, thumbs up for me. I think Guy is a very solid unit. If you've got Thunder tokens or factional tokens, he's definitely one I think it's worth going for. And if you do go for him, then make sure you do build him up. If you look here, you get one trigger for getting to plus 30. I think that's decent, okay? I don't necessarily think it's vital, but you want to get him to at least plus 20, right? And I would say that with regards to cars, if you look at his cars, I would say that 6 out of 6 is pretty vital. You want to have 6 out of 6, because having 6 out of 6 is just always going to ensure that it's very easy for you to get back into that phantom double state, okay? So anyway, I've been Hayzink, guys. Thanks very much for watching. As always, I'll catch you all in the next video, which probably is going to get recorded immediately after this. Peace.